That is one big pile.
So if you happen to be a LA native in the film industry, or you're just a huge fan of movies, you've probably heard that there's a huge decline in the film industry, or in other words, Hollywood. Now, on the surface level, you can contribute that to high production costs, the economy, the pandemic, tax incentives, and there's a lot of reasons why there's a decline in Hollywood. But I'm not really going to talk about all those specifics. There's a lot of videos on that. Today, I have a bone to pick with Hollywood, and it's a very specific show and a very specific scenario that I'm referring to. And I think this was like the last straw where I was like, I'm not going to make a video on it. It's just going to feel like I'm ranting, like I'm just complaining about things. But yeah, maybe I am. So most of us are now familiar with the show Squid Game. And if you haven't heard of it, then you are probably living under a rock. Squid Game is one of the most streamed shows. Billions of people have watched it. I think at one point it was like the #1 show in every single country pretty much. And you may have enjoyed the show. You may have hated the show. You might have liked season 1 and didn't like season 2 and 3 like myself. But that show was made in South Korea. It was directed by a South Korean director, with South Korean actors and South Korean games. Hugely successful, and no one saw it coming. I think one of the main actors even asked himself, like, this show is either going to flop or it's going to do really well. And that was pretty much the thought behind the show. And once it came out, the rest is history. It blew up, and it got season 2, season 3. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm kind of scared that people are going to try to rip off this idea and create like Squid Game LA or Squid Game, I don't know, Japan or somewhere else. And yeah, that's exactly what I think is happening. Now it's taking a turn for the worse, because there's an article in news and in multiple outlets that are saying that there's a Squid Game America that's coming out. And no spoiler, but if you watch season 3, you can pretty much confirm that this is happening. And out of all people, David Fincher, it seems like he's gonna help make this movie. David Fincher is one of the best in the business, and he's made some amazing films. But the question I ask myself is, what game are they gonna play? That I honestly had this conversation with a friend. Are they gonna play poker? Like, what game are they gonna play in Squid Game America? And seeing this made me think, why is this happening? From a filmmaker's perspective, I'm thinking there are so many original screenplays out there. So many of my friends' scripts that I even read personally, where it was so amazing, so original. And if A24, Neon, or Netflix picked this up, I think people would love it. I think people would really be impacted in a positive way by watching this film. But hundreds and millions of dollars are now going into these sequels that no one asked for, these spinoffs that no one even wanted. Case in point, this Squid Game America. And I get it. It's a cash cow. It's guaranteed success in a way, and it brings the money in. It makes the shareholders happy and the executives happy, and everything's good. But is it? I think the issue that I have is Hollywood isn't prioritizing the art of making movies, the art of storytelling. Essentially, what makes movies great is the originality. It's the cinematography. It's just, you can tell when the heart and soul is important to this work. But what I see in Hollywood right now is it's quite the opposite of that. But I think there's a silver lining. I think there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I feel this movement coming where people, moviegoers, and the next generation of filmmakers, they're yearning for something more. Like, they know that there's better stories out there that are to be told. And companies like A24 and Neon are the ones that are kind of spearheading this movement of just going back to creating really good movies. I think the tide is turning. I think viewers are saying, we want originality. We want great cinematography. We want storytelling from different cultures, different ethnicities, different countries. And I think eventually that's going to win out. And Hollywood is going to have to conform to this new idea, to this new wave of viewers and audiences where they want to go back to making good movies. And they want to go back to feeling a certain way by watching some of their favorite films. And if you're watching this and you agree with what I'm saying, then yeah, let's continue to support small local filmmakers, indie movies, and let's continue to voice our opinion on what really makes Hollywood, or what used to make Hollywood great. So my rant is over. I don't know if I'm going to make a video like this again, probably not, but I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.